Welcome to my channel, The Crazy Glam Planner, and we're going to turn these flashcards into a flashy journaling card. I have literally shopped my stash except for the flashcards I got at Dollar Tree, $1.25. So you're going to need some paper. It can be single-sided or not, or double-sided, doesn't really matter. You're only going to be using one side. Your flashcards. I use some junk envelopes for the journaling side, and these are just some washi, actually they're stickers from a washi set that I had in my stash. And you're going to need glue and of course some scissors and whatever paper you have on hand. So let's get started. So this was the first one I made. They are not going to be like this, but I do want them to coordinate because I want 3 coordinating journal cards for a travel journal treasure book that I am making for my trip coming up. I did get this at Little Craft Fest. Wrong. I don't know if it's still available or not, but it was just in my stash. The only thing I bought for this project was the flashcards, and I know that I can do so much more with them. I also thought about sometimes I really don't want that big one. I could literally just cut it in half and round the edges, and I've got a small one. Sometimes you just need a small bit. So I'm going to take some envelopes and I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. No special tools, just my scissors. I'm not even going to trace it. I'm going to cut around what will fit and then trim it down, and I'll be right back. Okay, to show you what I mean, I'm just going to take some glue and I'm going to rub it all over. Not sure where I got this glue 100%. Most likely from Daiso. I find that I like the glue from Daiso and the double-sided tape better. They're whatever brands they are as well, but you can use any glue, your favorite double-sided tape. Oh, looks like I have used the last of this one. Okay, well, so we're going to change glues. I am going to go ahead and do some double-sided tape and glue on this, on what I call it the back side, because this is the journaling side. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to come in with some tacky glue because that's what I have on hand at this time, because I cannot find my other glue that I know I've just bought, but apparently it did not make it to its home. So it'll show up, I'm sure, as soon as I finish this project. So I'm going ahead and doing 2 at a time. I am wanting the 3 to coordinate. Okay, and I have an issue that, oh, I should have took that binding off the tape. I totally forgot. I do have an issue with the filling of glue on my fingers. Sorry, sensory issues. So, and I just have this cardboard down just to protect the surface, which the surface I have down is to protect the surface. But I don't want to get the glue all over everything. And I will be using ink as well. So that is kind of for there. And I'm trying to think what I can do for smearing the glue, which is why I really like the glue sticks, is because I don't have to worry about smearing the glue anywhere with anything, because, you know, it just does it itself. So I'm going to struggle here and be right back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my ink dauber, and I'm going to smear this glue all over on this page, on this card. And I do have the tape on there to give it a little extra stick on, because this is for journaling. I'm actually going to be using it. So I'm going to turn this over. And when I meant I'm not cutting it to fit is because I'm going to do it after I apply it. And then I will go back in with more glue if I need to. Alright, so I'm going to do the same on this one. Just rub it all in. I'm not usually using one of these to put the glue on. It is not the most easiest to use, so definitely use your finger if you can. That's not an option for me. Sorry. Let me put a little more. This is also not the glue I am used to using for this kind of project. I will use that. I'm getting so tongue-tied. It's in the evening. My ADHD meds have worn off, and when it does that, I do find I start to get a little tongue-tied a bit more as it's wearing off, as my focusing is starting to change. Alright, so we're going to put that down there. And I'm just going to let that sit while I go ahead and trim this one. And I am just going to cut around the card. Now I will ink it, but I'm going to ink it after I get all the other papers on what I call the front side. And then if I need to do any more trimming up, I will also do that before I ink. So I'm going to go ahead and trim both of these cards, and then we'll hop over to the next segment. Okay, so I definitely learned a lesson. Whenever you are using these cards, you really need to be careful on the envelopes you're using, because this one, you're not seeing it on the camera well. There it is. You could actually see the numbers through it. So when you are using envelopes for this, you make sure it has that security feature. But you can also use any of your other papers. I could have easily have used this paper on the other side, and I may still end up doing that because I don't like the way this one is drying and the way the glue kind of smeared up on it. So we'll see. So if I end up not liking this, the only thing I've wasted is a little bit of time, because I did not buy anything extra for this project. So where am I? Okay, where am I? Okay, so we're going to start with this one. So I have pulled these out, and I actually want to put them on the side with this paper in the middle. But I want to use this ruler that I just recently bought. Now, I did not buy it for this project. You don't have to have these, but I thought it would be fun, since I do have them, to just go ahead and use it for this project since I have it. So I am going to make it a little bit larger, and then once I glue it on, I will trim it down to fit. So I'm going to use this cardboard as my protector here. I'm going to see how it works with this cutter. I think it's called a gyro cutter. I still have never quite learned how we're supposed to pronounce this, because if I was eating it, I would call it a gyro, and it is not a gyro. So I'm not sure if it's a gyro cutter or a gyro cutter. You do not have to have this. This is actually, with this ruler, it's meant to be a tearaway, but this is a cardstock paper, and I'm not so sure how that's going to tear away. So I thought I would just go ahead and at least score it a bit with the cutter. And there are other brands of this style swivel cutters now. I've had this one, gosh, probably a good 15 years. Okay, so we're going to pull that up. I say we're going to pull it up. Okay, so that's still not quite cut enough right there. And this is trial and error. I literally have not even used these rulers yet. And I am wanting to use both sides here of this paper, so I don't want to tear it up too bad, because this one bookmark will go on both sides. There we go. Okay, I am having to use a little force here, but like I said, this is cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up just a little bit. That is meant to tear off. But like I said, this is a cardstock. So they recommend, if you're using like a cardstock when you use these scissors, to wet the paper a little bit along the edge of where you're cutting it. And I wasn't quite sure how that would work, so I didn't. and I probably should have. Okay, so I'm going to go along here and get this cleaned up. I am thinking I don't like that white that's showing from the paper, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little ink and see how that looks. And of course, if I don't like it, you'll never see the video, so you wouldn't even know. But I think I'm going to like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. Oh! Okay, I'm not worried about doing the edge here because remember that is going to be cut off. We're going to trim that down after we get it on the card. Alright, so here's the card we're working with, and let me make sure that the paper will not, this paper is going to be thick enough. Alright, so this paper is thick enough. I don't see any numbers through it, so always do that test first. So if you need to put a white sticker sheet on it, you can. So now I want to see how much of this is going to show through here. Okay. So I'm going to take this, cut a piece, and I'm just going to glue it on like I did the first envelope. I'll be right back. Okay, so while that's sitting before I trim it down, I'm going to go ahead and do another one, but on this one, I'm going to put this in the center, and I'm going to put some of this on the sides and use the smaller edge here. And this is paper, so it should tear a little better. So I will see you on the next side. Let's see what happens. Let's see how I can get this going. Okay, so I did not like how that edge tore. So I went ahead and I took my swivel cutter and I traced around it just like I did with the cardstock. This is just regular copy weight paper that's been printed on. I did not print it. It came in one of the craft magazines. And so I just traced around there and then it let me pull it right up. And I think it's about time for a new blade. Like I said, I've had these a while and I have replaced the blade several times. And see, that just popped right up. So I don't think I want to use the ink on these edges this time before I put them down, simply because they are so white, okay, that I think it'll be too dark for it. So I want to see how I want these to go. Okay, I like that. That's going to look cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back side of this. There's still some glue that's wet on the card itself, but we need the waves here, the edges, to get a little wet. And yes, I am discovering I really prefer stick glue. Yeah, it's quicker, it's less messy. And that's what I get for misplacing the glue I just bought. Okay, oh shoot. Okay, I should have grabbed a tissue so I can wipe that off. So really, I guess it won't matter when it dries because it's supposed to dry clear anyway. If not, I guess if it doesn't dry clear, we'll add some texture and figure it out from there, won't we? One of the things that I love about paper crafting is that, yeah, you waste time, but do you really? Is it really a waste if you're learning how things work and what you enjoy and what you like? Okay, and I am wanting that to be a little off center. Mostly because I am too. Okay, so that went a lot better. Alright, so I'm going to trim up this card. And then let's see what we can do next. Okay, so I've got them all cut to size. This one, I am not sure how I'm going to like this side once it dries. So it may end up being just a decorative card, or I will go over it with maybe some of this green on the back and see, or another blue. I'm not going to know for certain probably until tomorrow after it's really good and dry if I'd be able to write on it. Alright, so now I am just going to throw some washi down on them. That's pretty much all I did for the other one once I got to this point. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm silently screaming inside because I have glue on my fingers and it is really bugging me. And yes, I'm aware of the issues. But that is my life, and the best thing I can do is work with what I am and what I have. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to put this one here on the bottom, but I don't want it quite this tall. Oh, and it's tearing for me anyway. You know what? That just gives me an idea. So that side's going to tear for me. I can't stand when it does this. Yes, I have certain things I want done a certain way. Okay. So I'm going to tear that off. But I'm also going to tear up here. Kind of give it an uneven, jagged edge here. Trying to get off of me. Ooh, I kind of like the way that one came out better than the other one. Alright, let me tear this off. It's washi, it should tear pretty easy. Alright, so I'm gonna find a couple of mermaids here and see which ones I might like. I don't think that would work because I do need one that is going to be up. Let's see, that one might work, and that one. Alright, so we'll use those first two there. I'm going to do a little sideways here. Oh, a little bit came off the edge over on the side, but you know what? That's okay. We can take care of that. Okay, and then I am going to put, you know what, I said that one, but kind of put her on the edge. Try to get it kind of on the edge of that washi there. Okay, so those are cute. So I'm just going to come in with some of the embellishments and see what might fit. I love these, but I don't think they fit for this, I was about to say spread, about this little collage layout. So let's put that one there. Oh, little headphones. I just love this set though. I really think it is absolutely adorable. Those there, and there's some smaller ones. Here we go, Shell, yeah. Put that up there. I think she is good. Let's put I do want to put a little embellishments on the back side. Okay, so I am going to take some multi-surface chalk ink, and I'm just going to go around the edges. And I'm just, really, this is what was in my stash. I'm just trying to coordinate somewhat with what I already had. Let's see here. Okay, this one is still a little wet. But I am learning what I like and what I don't like. And that changes all the time for everyone, I believe. Okay, I want a little more on this side. And you can use the dabber, and I will be using that here in a minute on the side, or you can just brush it along like I am. When I'm doing just a straight edge and I'm not really going for that vintage look, I'm just really trying to blend in the seams. I'll often just go across this way. Okay, now I am going to need to be careful on that one. So I'm going to hold this one while I go ahead and add a little bit of color to the side, to the back side here. Kind of rub it around. So I don't want it solid. I just want to add a little bit of color to it. And I do find that when I dab it down, it's generally takes off a big bulk of it, so you don't get the hard marks. And you can just rub it in. But it's all personal preference, and it's all trial and error. Okay, now I like that. So where are those pieces I had? So that we can add these on. Okay, go ahead and put these little fish down here. Those are cute. And turn that right back side up because that is still wet. Put a little sprig there. And I know these are not exactly the way they were. Okay, and there we are. All right, and here we have it. 3 mermaid journaling cards out of flashcards. That's all it took. Okay, we'll see how I like this one. This one may end up being covered up. We'll see. If that dries good, I don't mind writing over wrinkles. I just was not expecting that. But there we go. Out of flashcards and what I had on hand. I did not buy anything special for this project except the flashcards, but I didn't even buy the flashcards for this project. I had them on hand, so if I wanted to make journaling cards, I could. Something, actually not even journaling cards. I bought them to practice making mini collages on. And that's actually what that started out was a mini collage. And then I realized I was using the scrap fabric for this that I had from this envelope, and that they would make great journaling cards for me to bring along and be able to, oh, that's coming up a little bit. We'll glue that back down. Be able to, stick them in the matching coordinating envelope, have a little interactive journal. I'm not going to slide this one in yet because it's still a little wet there. Thank you for watching, and I hope this does inspire you. At least what you may wish to do in the future, and just take it, run with it. Think outside the lines. Let this be just a very basic guideline. Go look for 3 elements. That is what I am learning by going on YouTube. So many of them are saying 3, and I get it. Look for three elements that you want. I picked out the 2 pages in the mermaids on each of these. That's what I started with. The 2 coordinating pages and the mermaid stickers. I knew they were going to go in there, and ran. And it comes together. Anyway, stay beautiful and think outside the lines. I hope you enjoy this hopefully inspirational video. If you do, please thumb it up. Don't forget to join my Facebook group. And I also have free planner stickables. I have free planner printables on Ko-Fi, and although they're planner, they can also go in your journals, and I like to call them treasure journals, because you know what, this isn't junk. I'm going to put treasure in my journal. Have a wonderful time and think outside the lines. Stay beautiful.